Imagine this. In Pakistan's most populous province, pretty much every single person who wants to become a doctor, a dentist, or a nurse, well, their entire career path goes through one single institution. Just one. This is the story of the University of Health Sciences, or UHS, in Lahore. And to really get your head around just how massive this place is, we've got to start with some numbers.
Okay, let's start with this. 128. That's not a typo. That's how many medical colleges and institutes all across Punjab are connected to and basically run by UHS. It is a truly colossal network.
And who's in that network? Oh, just over 106,000 undergraduate students. Seriously, think about that for a second. The academic life of almost every single future doctor, dentist, and nurse in the entire province is directly tied to this one university.
And that's just the undergrads. We're not even done yet. On top of all that, you've got more than 9,000 postgraduate students. We're talking about an institution that's shaping every single level of medical training, from the first day of med school to the most advanced specializations. It's huge. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to start by really understanding why it's called the epicenter of health education in Punjab. Then we'll nail down what UHS actually is, because it's more than you think. After that, we'll explore its three main jobs, look at its global reputation, and wrap up with some of the big challenges it's facing.
All right, so first up, Punjab's medical epicenter. We're calling it the nerve center for a reason. As you're about to see, pretty much every signal, every decision, every standard in medical education in the province runs right through this one place.
It really is this simple. It doesn't matter if you're in a big public university in Lahore or a small private college somewhere else. If you are studying to be a medical professional in Punjab, your curriculum, your exams, and your final degree, it all comes from this central hub. There's no way around it.
Which brings us to a really important question. What exactly is UHS? For a lot of people, the name UHS is basically just another word for that super high-stakes entrance exam, the MD-CAT. But trust me, its real job is way, way bigger than that.
So its story kicks off back in 2002, and its mission was, well, pretty ambitious. They wanted a revolution in medical education. And honestly, they grew fast. Just 10 years later, it was already the #2 medical university in the entire country, and today, it's holding its own on the world stage, ranked in the top 700 medical universities globally.
But this quote right here, this is the key to everything. Look at those two words, regulate and coordinate. Its job isn't just to teach, it's to control the entire system. This one sentence is the source of all its power and its incredible reach across the province.
So how does all that power actually work in the real world? Well, I think the best way to understand its complex identity is to break it down into what I'm calling its three different faces: the gatekeeper, the educator, and the regulator. Think of it like this. First, UHS controls the front door. It decides who even gets a chance to become a doctor. Second, it educates the experts, the specialists, and top-tier researchers. And third, it literally writes the rule book for every other medical school in the province. Let's take a look at each one.
Okay, face number one is the one most people know and probably the one that causes the most anxiety. It's the gatekeeper. UHS manages that entire crazy, high-stakes process of getting into medical school, from running the entrance exam to publishing the final merit lists. It is the public face of that incredibly stressful journey for thousands of students every year.
Now, its second phase is the educator. But here's the twist. While those 128 affiliated colleges are busy teaching undergrads their MBBS and BDS, the university's own departments on its main campus are focused on postgraduate degrees, like PhDs and MPhils. So you could say it teaches the teachers and the top researchers directly while it oversees the training of all the frontline doctors.
And that leads us to its third, and you could argue its most powerful face, the regulator. The bottom line here is simple. No private medical college can even open its doors in Punjab without getting the green light from UUH. It sets the curriculum everyone has to follow, it conducts the final exams for all of them, and at the end of the day, it's the one that prints the degree. It is the quality control for the entire system. Now, all this power and all this control isn't just for the sake of it. It's allowed UHS to build a really impressive academic reputation that goes way beyond Punjab. So let's look at its global reach and how that makes an impact back home. See, UHS isn't just an administrative body, it's a serious research university. On its own campus, its scientists are tackling everything from diabetes to cancer to genetic disorders, but it's also looking outward,
teaming up with major global universities like Duke and Liverpool. And these aren't just names on a website. These partnerships bring world-class research and standards right back to Punjab.
But when one single institution holds this much power, the stakes are unbelievably high. So for our last section, we need to talk about a moment when the whole system was pushed to its breaking point, a scandal that really tested public trust in UHS.
It all went down in 2017. A huge controversy exploded when the entrance test, the MDCAT, was leaked. A federal investigation agency report, which was quoted right here by the News International, uncovered what it called a racket that was totally compromising the exam, the very foundation of its role as a fair gatekeeper.
The fallout from this was massive. The Lahore High Court actually had to step in and order a complete do-over of the test for every single student. I mean, what a logistical nightmare. The investigation eventually found that some of its own staff members were involved, which was a huge blow to its integrity.
And so this whole story leaves us with a really big, kind of tough question for the future. UHS was created to centralize everything and raise standards. But that scandal proved that when you centralize power, you also centralize the risk. The fundamental challenge is still there. Is it better for one place to hold all the cards to guarantee quality, or does that single point of control eventually become a single point of failure? It's a lot to think about.